Hi Michelle, nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
The reason for this meeting today is I have a prospective buyer for you and would like to go through the details and offer with you.
That's great, let's hear it.
The offer I have for you is from a single mother with 2 girls and has $25,000 available for a deposit, which is a significant deposit. She is prepared to pay $5,000 initial deposit and balance of $20,000. She is offered a total amount of $875 for the purchase of the property.
It's not quite the offer I had hoped for. I was hoping for something closer to $895,000 as discussed in the initial consultation, as we want to purchase a development and need the funds to do so. What are the other terms and conditions on the contract?
I totally understand that you are not satisfied with this offer. Negotiations can sometimes be challenging, but I will explore more possibilities with the buyer and address your concerns and work towards a middle ground. If we need, we can consult with specialists who may be able to help give more insight and help with the outcome. Now, as for the terms, the pest control is 5 days from the date of contract, and the inspector rebate to the agency is $25. The finance date will be 14 days from the date of contract, and the buyer has requested a settlement period of 30 days from the contract with vacant possession. We did tell her that due to the tenant in the place, we require there to be no ongoing lease agreements, and referring to the settlement part, we will need the contract of the sale to be signed by both parties. It is a legally binding document that outlines the terms and conditions of the property transaction. It includes details such as purchase price and any specific conditions. In Queensland, the standard cooling off period of 5 days usually applies to residential property sale. During this period, the buyer has the right to terminate the contract without any penalty. During the settlement period, which was stated 30 days, various tasks need to be completed, such as conducting inspections, obtaining financial approval, and satisfying any other relevant tasks that are outlined in the contract. On the settlement day, the legal ownership is transferred from you to the buyer. This involves the exchange of necessary documents such as transfer of title and payment of the purchase price. Now, the settlement is usually through the involvement of legal representatives such as solicitors or conveyancers who ensure that all parties fulfill their obligations. Prior to settlement, some adjustments may need to be made relating to the property, such as rates and taxes. These adjustments ensure that you, the buyer, share the costs fairly and align with the period of ownership.
I agree with the terms you have identified. As far as financial dates, building and pests and settlement terms, the tenants have indicated the willingness to vacate the property. The vacant possession should not be a problem, but I'm really motivated to sell the property, so if you can negotiate a better price, I would like to proceed.
That's great. Knowing the tenants agree, that will make some progress for us. Now, after I negotiate with the buyer about the offer again, if we come to an agreement, I would like to provide you with information regarding the private treaty sale and legislation affecting the property in Queensland.
That would be great if you could inform me.
The private treaty sale method in which you have chosen is a common approach made in real estate transactions. It involves setting a price which you have stated and negotiations with the potential buyers, which we are currently doing. Unlike auctions where the property is sold to the highest bidder, the private treaty sale allows for more flexibility and price negotiation, and typically involves less constrained process, which is a better option for you, as you have stated you are really motivated to sell.
Yes, indeed.
Now, there are specific legislation requirements that govern the sale of a property. It's crucial to comply with these regulations to ensure a legally sound and successful transaction. These include property sale and legislation. This sets out the rules and regulations related to the sale of the property, including the requirements of preparing a contract for sale, disclosure obligations, calling off periods, and dispute resolution mechanisms. Such as I have stated, consumer protection laws. This is a place to safeguard the interest of buyers and sellers in real estate transactions. These laws aim to prevent unfair practices, representations, and deceptive conduct during the sale process of the property. Disclosure requirements are required. These are generally obligated to discuss any material facts or defects related to the property to potential buyers, who also you, the seller, must handle and protect any personal information obtained during the sale process in compliance with the privacy laws. This includes obtaining consent for the collection, used, and the disclosure of potential personal data. And finally, it is important to adhere to anti-discrimination laws to ensure fair treatment for all buyers and avoid any more discrimination based on factors such as race, gender, or disability. Does that all make sense to you, Michelle?
Yes, thank you for explaining all the requirements and legislation to me, as I must know these things.
Michelle, now I also wanted to talk to you about some strategies to take in and expectations aligned with the buyer, which include we might need to pay attention to feedback, potential buyers, and it might provide insight to areas where your property could be perceived as lacking value or adjustments that can be made to align expectations. Also, you might need to take into consideration the current market conditions in recent comparable sales in the area. This knowledge will provide realistic perspective on buyers' expectations and assists in settling appropriate pricing to be open to negotiation and the price based on the market feedback and the buyer's offers. But I don't think we will need to consider any strategies, as I think we can negotiate with the buyer for you.
I will definitely keep the strategies in mind, but hoping for a good outcome. Thank you.
Not a problem, Michelle. I'll keep you updated on the negotiation and hope to be in contact with you in no time.